Welcome to this deep dive, everyone. Today we're getting into something pretty challenging, but also hopefully quite liberating. The idea of letting go.
Mm-hmm. It's a big one. We often hold on to things, jobs, relationships, even beliefs, long after they stop serving us.
Exactly. And we know many of you, our learners, appreciate getting to the heart of things quickly, those aha moments without the fluff. So that's what we're aiming for, a clean look at why we cling and what happens when we, well, release our grip.
And we'll be exploring this partly through the lens of Gestalt psychology. It offers some really fascinating ways to think about how we perceive our world and why change can feel so unsettling.
Like a real loss, right? Even if what you're losing is, frankly, kind of painful.
Precisely. It's about understanding those patterns of perception.
Okay, so no heavy jargon, just insights. Let's start with a picture. Imagine standing before a door, one you know really well. But opening it doesn't lead anywhere good anymore. Maybe it's that job or a friendship.
Yeah, you know it's unfulfilling. But still, you hesitate to just walk away. There's a pull to stay.
What is that pull? Why linger?
Well, a lot of it is about the familiar, isn't it? Even uncomfortable familiarity. Gestalt thinking suggests our minds are constantly organizing reality, creating patterns, gestalts, to give us a sense of coherence.
Okay, so we rely on these patterns.
Absolutely. And contemplating change, like letting go of that job, it feels threatening because it disrupts those very patterns we depend on. It's disorienting.
I remember reading about someone, let's call her Sarah, stuck in this monotonous manager role. Hated it, basically, but stayed for the stability.
That job became the dominant figure in her field of awareness. Letting go wasn't just quitting a job. It felt like losing structure, maybe even part of her identity, that predictability.
Right. The known, even if it's bad.
And this ties into something Gestalt calls unfinished business. When we resist a natural closure, like moving on, it creates this sort of psychological tension, a feeling of being incomplete.
Like a song stuck on repeat, never getting to the end.
Exactly. And the real kicker, the paradox, is that clinging so hard actually keeps us stuck. It prevents us from even seeing other possibilities that might be right there.
Yeah, you're so focused on that closed door, you miss the open window next to it. Okay, here's another thought. Imagine you pick up a stone on a hike. Small at first, but miles later, it feels heavy, really heavy. You could just drop it, but you don't. Why on earth do we do that?
That's a great metaphor. We often do that with emotional burdens, don't we? Past hurts, limiting ideas, maybe toxic connections. They start to feel like part of us.
Like you need to carry it.
Yes. Or we mistake the weight for substance. Its presence feels necessary. In Gestalt terms, that stone, that burden becomes the figure, dominating our awareness, pushing everything else into the background, the ground.
So you're just feeling the weight, not seeing the view.
Pretty much. You're so focused on the burden, you miss the beauty around you. The solution seems simple, right? Just put the stone down.
But it feels monumental. Putting it down changes the whole landscape, potentially.
It does. And that brings us back to doors. Doors aren't just about closing things off. They're thresholds, transitions. They open too.
Ah, so it's about completion.
Exactly. Gestalt talks about our innate drive for closure,
Yeah.
completing patterns, resolving ambiguities. Resisting letting go actually denies us true closure. It sort of freezes the ending in time.
And nostalgia doesn't help, does it? That bittersweet longing. It paints the past in these rosy colors.
Oh, absolutely. Nostalgia can create this false choice. Either cling to this idealized memory or lose it forever. It makes letting go seem like erasure.
But it's not erasure.
Not at all. Real letting go is more like integration, acknowledging the whole experience, the good, the bad, the messy bits. It's allowing the past to be part of your story, not the defining chapter you're stuck in.
So releasing the grip actually creates space. The closing door reveals something else.
Precisely. A new view, maybe a new path.
Okay, so if it leads to something better, what stops us? What's the big barrier to just let it go and moving on?
Well, you said it earlier. Fear. It really boils down to fear, doesn't it?
Fear of what? The unknown. Making a mistake?
All of that. Fear of the unknown, certainly. Fear of failure, sometimes, strangely. Even fear of success and what that might demand of us.
So clinging feels safer, even if it's miserable?
It feels predictable, yeah. Letting go pushes us into uncertainty. It's like being stuck in limbo, like that Tantalus myth, always reaching, never quite grasping, not fully here, not moving forward.
So moving past that requires courage.
Yes, but maybe not the dramatic kind. It's more of an internal courage, the willingness to just sit with the discomfort, to face the uncertainty without needing all the answers up front, to trust the process.
And where does that courage come from?
I think it's deeply rooted in awareness. Gestalt therapy places huge emphasis on awareness, really seeing ourselves, our thoughts, feelings, habits without judging them.
That's observing.
Just observing, recognizing the patterns we're caught in, and then realizing we have a choice. We can choose differently, act in ways that serve us now, not just repeat the past. Without awareness, we're kind of prisoners of habit.
But with awareness.
With awareness, we can start to reshape things, redefine what's important.
You mentioned the field of awareness before. Can you unpack that a bit more?
Sure. Think of the field as, well, everything. The total sum of your experience right now. Sensations, thoughts, feelings, memories, the environment around you, it's all there.
Okay, the whole picture.
Right. And within that field, certain things naturally pop out, grab our attention. That's the figure. Everything else fades into the ground, the background.
And what makes something the figure?
Usually our needs, our desires, our immediate concerns, but also, importantly, our habits of attention, what we're used to focusing on.
So if we're clinging to something, that job, that relationship, we're basically forcing it to be the figure all the time.
You got it. We elevate it, make it the dominant feature, and it overshadows everything else in the field. Other possibilities, other potential figures just don't get seen.
And that clinging actually distorts the picture.
It really can. It hinders true perception. Think about perceptual constancy. Our brain likes things to stay stable. A door still looks like a door even if we see it from a weird angle.
Right.
We apply that mentally too. We might cling to an old idea of something, refusing to see that it's changed or isn't there anymore in that form. We resist acknowledging the shift.
And that resistance creates tension.
Exactly. Attention in the field, it's like trying to hold on to water.
And our attention is key in all this, directing that spotlight.
Absolutely. Attention isn't passive, it's an active force. It shapes our experience, brings focus, creates meaning. But over time, we can develop what's called a zone of relevance.
A mental filter.
Kind of. It narrows our perception. We filter out things that don't seem immediately relevant based on our past experiences or current focus.
And we can mistake that narrow focus for being in control, for stability.
Precisely. We think if we just keep our eyes fixed on this one familiar thing, we can manage life's unpredictability.
But life is unpredictable.
Inherently so. And clinging doesn't change that. In fact, gripping too tightly often makes things worse.
Right.
Because it distorts our view of the field, creates huge blind spots.
Like focusing so hard on one tree, you completely miss the forest fire approaching.
That's a dramatic way to put it, but yes. That intense fixation shows a lack of healthy contact, that dynamic give and take between ourselves and our environment. That's crucial for growth. When contact is interrupted, maybe through avoidance or projection or getting lost in something, we get stuck.
Okay, so we let go despite the fear, but it still often feels like loss. How do we square that? Is it always a loss?
Well, Gestalt has this core idea of relationality, sometimes called isomorphism.
Right.
Everything is connected. Nothing exists in total isolation.
Okay.
So when we let go of something, we're not just deleting it, we're allowing it to take its proper place within the larger whole, the bigger picture of our life. It changes the overall pattern.
And that change creates space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It creates space for new figures to emerge, for new patterns to form. It's often a very organic process, guided by natural tendencies towards balance and coherence, what Gestalt calls pregnance, seeking the best possible organization.
I like the analogy of a garden. Sometimes you have to thin things out, remove weaker plants, so the stronger ones have room to thrive.
That's a perfect analogy. Releasing attachments frees up energy. Energy that can then be invested in new growth, new opportunities. This is where creative adjustment comes in.
Adapting to change.
Yes. Our ability to navigate life well depends on embracing this impermanence, on being able to creatively adjust. So letting go isn't defeat. It's more like an act of faith in these natural rhythms, understanding that endings are often just beginnings in disguise.
But making that shift, going from desperately holding on to actually releasing, how does that happen? Is it just willpower?
Not usually, no. It often comes through insight, that aha moment.
The light bulb turning on.
Kind of. But in Gestalt, insight isn't just intellectual. It's deeper, more holistic, a transformation in awareness. And interestingly, it often arises right at the point of maximum tension.
When you just can't stand it anymore. When holding on hurts more than the fear of letting go.
Exactly that point, the discomfort becomes unbearable. And in that moment, the old figure, the thing you were clinging to, can suddenly just dissolve.
And you see everything else.
The ground becomes visible. All the other possibilities rush in. I remember a story about a writer, Alex, agonizing over a novel for years, just stuck. Finally, in frustration, he just abandoned it, went away to an old cabin. And being there, letting go of the struggle, sparked a totally new idea, something completely different, which actually became successful.
So the breakthrough came from surrender, not from trying harder.
Often, yes, trusting the process rather than forcing the old pattern.
It feels so paradoxical that completion comes not from finishing the thing you were clinging to, but from letting it go.
It is paradoxical. But completion in Gestalt isn't about perfection. It's about coherence, a sense that things are in place, right for now, even if they're messy or imperfect.
Finding balance in the flow.
Yes, aligning with the flow of life, embracing the whole picture, the beauty and the chaos. Letting go becomes an act of creation in itself. You step aside and allow the field to reorganize.
Reclaiming agency not as controllers, but as participants.
Beautifully put. Participants in our own becoming. It reminds me of that Japanese art, kintsugi.
Oh, repairing broken pottery with gold.
Exactly. They don't hide the breaks, they highlight them. The repaired object becomes something new, arguably more beautiful and interesting because of its history, its breaks.
So letting go isn't about pretending the break didn't happen.
Not at all. It's about integration. Finding meaning in the breaks, the pain, the mistakes. That's where real wholeness comes from. And the space left behind when we let go. It's not empty. It's pregnant with potential for new forms, new connections.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive, the learner, maybe take a moment. Think about those doors in your own life. Are any of them feeling a bit stuck? Or those metaphorical stones, are you carrying any extra weight without quite realizing it?
We've seen how Gestalt offers this really useful way to look at why we get attached and the freedom that can come from letting go. Remember Sarah's job? That dominant figure, or the weight of that unseen stone.
Yeah, and how just setting it down could change the view. It's worth asking, what's the main figure in your awareness right now? Is it maybe obscuring other things in the ground?
And again, this isn't about making impulsive changes. It's more about fostering a conscious awareness, what truly serves you now, and finding the courage, maybe just a little bit, to create space.
What might pop into focus in your field of awareness if you just gently loosened your grip on something familiar, something that maybe isn't working anymore?
We really hope this discussion has sparked some insights, maybe a new angle on change. Remember, letting go isn't forgetting, it's integrating. Like that kintsugi gold, making the whole story richer.
And we'll leave you with this to ponder. What quiet conversations might start within you? What potentials might stir? If you consciously created just a little more space for the unknown, for what lies beyond the act of letting go. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.